you think these companies have in common? Microsoft, Airbnb, General Electric, Netflix, Sports Illustrated, Burger King. What each of those organizations have in common is that they were started by founders who were driven by a passion. On your change tracker, and you'll be able to download the change tracker from Necole. This is one of the most powerful tools that we have for personal transformation, possibly the most powerful tool, because transformation happens with accountability, and the change tracker gives you personal accountability. And so we want everyone on Bounce Back to have one of these. So you write what you're committing to in that gap at the bottom. So the gap at the bottom is what you're saying every day for whatever it is, 10 minutes, I am going to focus on achieving my particular goal.
And it was in January 1999 that we set off to climb this mountain here. But it was my friend Jamie Fisher, who, for whatever reason, I don't know, just began to fade faster than me. I was to wake up from those operations, to look down my hospital bed and see that where my hands and feet had previously been were now only neatly bandaged stumps. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whatever you're bouncing back from, whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, really, if you set your mind to something, if you are prepared to go out and give that a go, no matter how challenging, to make the most of the things that you still have, rather than worrying about the things that you don't have.
If you want to engage your customers, you have to engage your employees first. I think when we talk about appreciation, it's that emotional engagement. You go from recognition to gratitude, especially in tough times. We need to lead with gratitude. Gratitude is not just knowing where to give credit and where it's due. It's actually knowing where it's due. How are we doing it? Who's doing what? Am I seeing what's going on, and am I expressing it? Sometimes as leaders we think, I'll remember to do that later. Like I see something good going on, and I will recognize it at the end of the week in the team meeting. You don't. It's like a banana. They get overripe very quickly. If you see it, do it now. Happy at work, happy at home. As leaders, send your people home happy. It's easy to be happy and engaged during good times. It's easy. What do you look like in hard times?
What happened in your life today that allowed you to change the world? What did you do today to change the world? We could complain about the coronavirus. We could complain about presidents and people who just got elected, and we can complain a lot. Easy to complain, easy. A little harder to put on your football shoes and get out on the field. Now, I had a wonderful life. I had an amazing life. I had so many gifts in my life that it's unfair how well I've been treated by life. In spite of the fact, as you can see, I've bumped into a few things. Who are you picking up today? Who are you practicing to pick up today?
Michael Jordan said this, this might be the only time that somebody sees me play. For me, it may be just another night out of 100 nights that I play basketball this year. But for some kid or some grandparent or somebody who's never seen me play, they're going to take this away with them for the rest of their life. And they all continue to strive, even long after they've achieved what all of us would consider enormous success. If you look at Tiger Woods, everybody quit on Tiger Woods, but Tiger Woods never quit on himself. He didn't quit after the neck surgery, the back surgery, the knee surgeries. But he never quit. He never, ever said, I can't do this. I can quote Richard Nixon again, and it's really poignant. A man who had tremendous self-awareness, even if he destroyed our belief in government, he said, a man is not defeated when he loses. A man is defeated when he quits.
Most stories that you hear of people that have a disability that are going to, tell you some type of truth. This story is going to end with us having actionable steps of how you can actually hurdle, overcome what some people call adversity, or is it really the adversity? Are we really overcoming the things that we're overcoming? What happens when you lose oxygen? You grab for anything that is around you. If somebody's being sunk underneath the water, have you ever been done that? You grab for anything, a towel, You grab for a spoon, a rubber duck. You don't care what it is, you just want it. Something that you can control when you can't breathe. Hope and faith have to outweigh or outdo the fear that we have. When it equals that, we'll jump. If it doesn't, we won't. And make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, the only person that can make the jump is you.
First principle, take 100% responsibility for your life and your results. You're going to act as if you are 100% responsible for everything that happens in your life. Now, whether that's true or not is irrelevant. It's when you act as if it's true, it becomes true. Your health, how much you weigh, how happy you are, how much money you have, the quality of your job, how many clients you have, how many people are following you on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and places like that. All those things are the outcomes of how you responded to an earlier event. We had a big event. Many of us didn't respond really well, and the outcome wasn't all that great. But there were other people, same event, called coronavirus, same place you live, and they responded differently and got a better outcome. So it's never the event, it's your response. The principles always work if you always work the principles.
This is the goal. I like to try to break it into 3 specific areas: the what, the why, and the how. If we're going to start with what I mean by that is, what are your non-negotiables? You see, our black sheep values are those deeply held personal core values that no matter how much someone wants to influence you, no matter how much it wants to try to change you in some way, shape, or form, you simply will not be moved. To really understand how they get into we start to understand how they really get into our lives and how we use them to the best of our abilities to start to live our lives with deliberate I apologize. You see, here's the thing. Our black sheep values demand our attention.
My biggest life dream turned to be a nightmare. This happened, I became a bigger man, not a smaller man. Because when you think it's all yours, that all your powers and virtues and talents are yours, so it's like about me, and that me is not strong enough. There's like a deadly snake on a tree. He almost snaps at me. I jump off the tree, but I come back and I kill that snake and I eat the snake. What happened? I'm not supposed to do that. There's 2 types of survival. One type of survival is real. What you have to worry about is about worrying about. That's the second type of survival, and it's much more dangerous.
Within about an hour or so, he found out that his wife and 2 kids were killed by Joe. He did not inform anybody. He informed his parents the next day. After the siege in the hotel was over, he was focused on making the guests safe. That is the exemplary service. Now, can you beat that customer service? Way back in 1996, Rolf Jensen is an analyst and a researcher in Netherlands. He said, in 25 years, people will buy mostly stories and legends and emotion and lifestyle, not products and services. If you want to measure experience, then the experience has to be holistic. It is not about delivery of a customer service. It is about a holistic experience. And we said, if you have to deliver experience and orchestrate that experience, then it has to be across 4 dimensions.
Setup, rhythm, and closure. Setup of the workday, when it is purposeful, leads to purposeful and intentional work. It's called the paper anchor. Very emotionally uncomplicated. The rhythm of the day is very dependent on an off switch and an on switch. Imagine a wedge driven up in your calendar between 2 things, a little wedge of open time. And then we move to closure. Now, one of them is an aspect of compartmentalization, a desk or a drawer or a cabinet or a closet where you can put your work things away and close the door. Another technique that I really adore is a simple one. It's called trap yourself in a promise. He's going to say, oh, well, all right, work is over. As soon as you say it in front of your children or your loved ones, you're trapped.
After hearing Jack Canfield the likes of W. Mitchell, hearing stories of Michael Jordan, all the other speakers that have inspired us, and I'm number 12. Some people don't do anything after hearing that. And I'm not judging you, you're looking at it. For the next 5 years, I refuse to go look for elk, and you all know how much I love farming elk and how much I love it. And I didn't refuse because I couldn't do it. I refused to do it because I wasn't willing to adapt. I wasn't willing to change the way I'd done things in the past. People have said, when did you finally bounce back? When did you finally make it? The answer is I haven't. I'm still faced with challenges. COVID has been a challenge for me, like it's been for all of you. We'll all face them throughout our life. It's what gives us the opportunity to find out what our strength and what our potential really is.
In life, when you've built something up, you spend time developing something, and you lose it, you feel like you've lost yourself. You are the common denominator in all of your problems. If something isn't going right in your life, relationships, your career, your schooling, whatever it is, your health, that's you. I would like to be nice and say it's the rest of the world, but it's on you somehow. Now, it may not be your fault. It might have been somebody else, some situation you had no control over, but you have control of your response. For your responsibility to handle a response, I can't come and fix your life. But the reality is, if you get to the point of owning your shift, you can get to that point of doing this. And it starts with a simple process. It's reframing your failures. I want you to paste this somewhere. Here's the quote. Excuses are the fuel of those who are failures. Failures are the fuel of those who succeed.